Chapter 1041, King's Daughter. Sharon, who doesn't like nicknames. How did she know? She's interacted with Miss Sharon before. Upon hearing Rionette Tinker's answer, Klein was first taken aback before questions emerged one after another in his mind. From his point of view, a messenger and a mailer wouldn't communicate under normal circumstances. The entire process would be the messenger's appearance, the retrieval of the letter, and its departure. Besides, when did Miss Messenger need to obtain the permission of the other party when she gives nicknames? Did Frank Lee and Patrick Bryan agree to it? A few seconds later, Klein instinctively had a guess. Miss Messenger and Miss Sharon definitely had some kind of connection, and Rionette Tinker didn't wish to hide anything. Reining in his thoughts, Klein opened the envelope, unfolded the letter, and quickly scanned the contents. "There's something I hope you can help me with. Let's meet at the Bravehearts bar to discuss in detail." Compared to before, Miss Sharon isn't that stingy with her words. She's slightly improved in this aspect for the better. Is this a change that resulted from a demigod advancement? Klein thought for a moment and walked to his desk. Picking up a pen, he wrote, "When do you wish to meet?" Putting down his pen, he glanced at Rionette Tinker, who was standing by the side, seemingly waiting to write the reply. Klein felt even more certain again. He folded the letter, handed it over, and casually said, "For Miss Sharon." One of Rionette Tinker's heads bit on the letter while the remaining three said, "You haven't paid." "No, postage, payment." Klein cleared his throat, took out a gold coin, and handed it to Miss Messenger. Seeing Rionette Tinker disappear, he revealed a pensive look as he walked to the reclining chair and waited patiently. Less than a minute later, Miss Messenger walked out of the void again in her complicated dress. She was biting the letter from before. Klein didn't inquire as he received the reply letter and unfolded it. "If you don't have any problems with it, it would be best if it happens tonight." "Tonight?" Klein nodded thoughtfully and flicked his wrist, causing the letter to ignite into scarlet flames, quickly turning it black. The flame burgeoned and enveloped his body as well. By the time the flames extinguished, Klein's figure had already disappeared from the reclining chair. The floating ashes hovering in midair automatically fell into a nearby trash can with the help of an invisible wind. In the houses that were connected together in Backlands North Borough, Sherwood Borough, and the bridge area, the wall gas lamps brightened slightly before returning to normal. Before long, Klein appeared in a room he had privately rented at the periphery of East Borough. He changed his clothes, put on gold-rimmed glasses, and went out with the appearance of Sherlock Moriarty, heading straight for the Bravehearts bar. This time, he didn't seek out Ian, who was in the card room playing tabletop games with a bunch of people. He listened for a few seconds before pushing open the door to one of the billiard rooms and entered slowly. Just as he flipped open the door, he saw figures outlining themselves on two sides. Sitting on a high stool to the left was the blonde, blue-eyed Sharon. She was wearing an exquisite bonnet and a regal dress. Compared to the past, her face was no longer as pale as before. It just looked like she was anemic, making her look less like a female ghost and more like a doll. Standing to the right of the billiard table was Marie. This young man who liked to play cards with zombies had turned increasingly pale. The malice in his eyes had become unobvious, but it gave a suppressive feeling to others. "Good evening," Klein took off his hat with a smile and bowed. "Good evening, Mr. Detective." Sharon's body seemed to float up weightlessly as she seriously bowed. Marie did the same. At that moment, the billiard room seemed to be filled with paranormal events. Klein casually pulled a high stool chair and sat down. He chuckled and said, "What is it this time?" "I'm very sorry to trouble you again." Sharon bowed again. Marie quickly said, "We made an agreement for a cooperative effort with the Sanguine to deal with the key members of the Rose School of Thought in Backland. We will definitely carry out the bulk of it ourselves. It will include how we lure them out, how we ambush them, and how our attack will happen. We just hope that you will watch the entire process by the side and aid in our escape when an accident happens. If you want anything, just mention it. We can discuss it. That is to say, I'm a contingency to prevent any accidents. What if that fellow Emlyn also enlists the world to secretly help? When that happens, they would have two demigods in their contingency plans. I think it might work. I can be Sherlock Moriarty while letting Kona's Kilgore be J.M. and Sparrow. Klein considered for a few seconds without immediately agreeing. Instead, he said, "Let me ask a few questions." Marie glanced at Sharon and nodded. "Okay." Klein looked at Sharon, who was sitting on a high stool like a doll. "The Tutenses II mummy we previously obtained was a preparation for you to advance to sequence 4 puppet, and you've already become a demigod." This was something he had previously learned from their conversations and letter exchanges. His main goal was to make a confirmation and start the subsequent topic. Sharon quietly looked back at him as she said with an ethereal and inhuman voice, "Yes." Klein nodded slightly and directly asked, "What's your relationship with Rionette Tynecare?" Sharon's blue eyes darted about almost indecimably as she said, "She is my teacher." Teacher, she. Although Klein already had some guesses, he nearly drew a gasp. He felt his head aching. In the blink of an eye, although his expression remained the same, countless thoughts were bubbling in his mind. Miss Messenger was originally an angel. I'm actually using an angel as a messenger. Isn't that too exaggerated? She is even Miss Sharon's teacher. It probably wasn't that simple when she requested to be my messenger. From the looks of it, she definitely isn't on the same side as the Mother Tree of Desire. Miss Messenger signed the contract with me because the Mother Tree of Desire was coveting me? No, that she is bound to be my enemy. It's no wonder Miss Sharon was able to obtain the puppet potion formula and the corresponding ingredients with the help of her teacher. As his thoughts raced, Klein decided to ask another question. He wanted to use the process of Miss Sharon's or Marie's replies to calm his emotions. He deliberated and said, "What's the exact situation?" This time, it was still Sharon replying. Compared to her Ramix mechanical dolls, she appeared more lifeless as she calmly said, "Early in the 5th epoch, death perished. There was resistance stirring against the Balam Empire in places like the southern continent's Star Highlands and Paz Valley. During this process, the Chained God appeared, and the Rose School of Thought was born. My teacher was originally the daughter of the ruler of the local highlands, but she later became the blessed of the Chained God, assisting her father in establishing the Highlands Kingdom. Later on, she became a Sequence 2 angel, one of the leaders of the Rose School of Thought. She advocated temperance and using austere and few desires to resist the madness in life. About 922 years ago, the Son of God, Sua, was born. Everything began to change as the indulgence and bloody rituals gradually took over the dominating faction. At first, Teacher was barely able to maintain it, preventing the temperance faction from being affected. However, as time passed, the influence of the Mother Tree of Desire grew. Sua also successfully advanced a few years ago, becoming a true abomination. An internal war broke out. Teacher protected us as we escaped from the highlands, valley, and grasslands. I watched her fall under the siege of Sua and the other high-ranking members. However, she didn't completely die because of prior preparations. She resurrected in a special state in the spirit world and now yearns to complete her body. Is that so? In other words, Miss Messenger is currently, in essence, an angel without the corresponding powers. She is in a weakened state. It's no wonder she wasn't able to easily deal with the Rose School of Thought demigod Shanks. Wait, although there are many angels cooperating with me, why are they all incomplete or weak? Apart from Ma'am Ariana, all of them are in such states. Mr. Azik, Palaz Zarost, will Ossipton, Miss Messenger. Is there a problem with my title as the Fool? Are they all waiting for me to give them the charms corresponding to Scholar of Yore? Klein came to a realization as he felt rather poignant. He didn't ask why Rionette Tynecare still desired money, as he thought for a moment before saying, "Miss Sharon, the Rose School of Thought definitely has no lack of the puppet potion formula. After you obtain the Tutenses II mummy, they would likely view you as a demigod. In addition, Ma'am Rionette Tynecare had once appeared before the Rose School of Thought's demigod and engaged in a battle with them. This also means that the Rose School of Thought definitely knows that she is alive, and they wouldn't not be prepared against her. And your relationship as master and disciple with her is no secret to them. In such a situation, isn't it a little too naive to use yourself and Marie as bait to fish out the key members of the Rose School of Thought in Backland?" Do you think they will only send 1 or 2 demigods to deal with you? Up to what degree of help can the sanguine provide? Also, I previously mentioned that due to one of my identities, the Mother Tree of Desire places a great deal of importance on me. Even Abomination Sua was sent to attack me, and your teacher's cooperation with me is something they are similarly aware of. Summarizing all these points, if you and Marie appear, the kind of assault you would invite is unpredictable. Having said that, Klein's expression turned serious as he asked, "Do you wish to cause a divine descent in Backlund?" The entire billiard room instantly turned abnormally quiet, but there weren't any changes to Sharon's expression.